At this time, we're going to hear from Representative Joyce Krawiec. Joyce Krawiec was recently elected representative to the 73rd District of North Carolina General Assembly. She was elected to fill the remainder of the late Representative Larry Brown's term. Joyce is a small business owner and a resident of Kernersville, and is the North Carolina Grassroots Coordinator for Freedom Works, an organization that advocates for less government and more freedom. Joyce is the former president of the Forsyth County Republican Women and has served on several committees of the National Federation of Republican Women. She's well published. She has a blog called Mouth from the South. She's married and has 2 grown daughters. Let's welcome Joyce.
Hello, thank you guys for being here, and thank you for all that you're doing. And Patty Curran, I love you. Thank you, Patty, for organizing this rally, for continuing to fight for the freedoms that we love. A couple of housekeeping matters, because I will forget. I was asked to make this announcement that this afternoon, precinct walkers are needed at GOP headquarters. From 3 to 5, they're going to stuff bags, and then they're going to hang them on doors in precinct 805, which is one that we cannot hand out literature at the polls. And we're going to talk a little bit about handing out literature at the polls. We're here to talk about religious liberty. Nothing is as important as electing conservative judges. And they are nonpartisan. Folks do not know who they are. We have to make certain that even if they vote straight party ticket, they know who those judges are. So if you can help with that at any polling places, let us know. But if you have some time this afternoon to walk, we'd love to have you join us for that. Also, Thursday night from 5 to 7, Freedom Works is going to be walking. We're going to be hanging door hangers that say Fire Obama. We also have Fire Obama signs. So please join us at Golden Corral at Haynes Mall. 5 to 7 we're going to walk, then we're going to come back and we will treat you to dinner if you can join us. So please do. We're taking a bus the next morning down to Florida. A few of us are going down. North Carolina is looking good. Florida is looking tighter and tighter. We are giving up on nothing. Every state is so important. Now, many of you have been concerned for a long time about the erosion of our freedoms. It's been happening for a long time. Virginia Fox talked a little bit about it, and God bless Virginia Fox. We are so fortunate to have a lady like that. She's been standing up for this for a long time and taking a lot of heat. And you can go anywhere. I was out in Dallas not long ago, and I was talking to Senator Mike Lee, and I told him Virginia Fox was my representative, and he said, "You are the luckiest person in the world to live in that district." She is awesome. She is known for standing up for our liberties in Washington. She takes a lot of heat, and she's not afraid to do it. So we're glad that she is there representing us. How did we get here? Some of us that are as old as I am would have never thought a few years ago that we would need to be doing this today. We had freedoms. When I was a child, you took for granted that you said a prayer in school, you said the pledge, you had nativity scenes in your town halls, at your town properties, in front of your courthouse. That's all gone. And part of it is because we didn't stand up. Virginia talked about Pastor Niemöller. I was going to mention him as well. We have to stand up for everybody's freedom, even if it's something that doesn't affect us. Obama has awakened a sleeping giant by showing us what it really means to have so many of our freedoms taken away. This tyrannical overreach of government to demand that we purchase a private product, and if we don't, we can be fined or we can be jailed. That's not the America I grew up in, and many of you grew up in. But we have been getting here slowly by compromise. And I love to tell people this all the time. We know compromise is something that has to be done. We elect men and women to go represent us in Raleigh and in Washington, and they compromise because they want to get things done. And we've been doing that for 40, 50 years. But if you've got liberalism, socialism, fascism, communism, whatever you want to call it over here, and you've got liberty and freedom over here, we've done our compromising for 50 years toward the tyranny and the liberalism and the socialism. We're all about compromise, but you're going to compromise our way for a while. We are finally drawing the line in the sand, and we are saying no more. No more. We have given up liberty after liberty. Our children can't draw, some school districts around this country can't even draw pictures that depict biblical figures. How crazy is that? How crazy is that? It makes no sense. But that's where it has come to. Christmas symbols, if they're religious, we can't display them in many areas across this country. That's sad. That is sad. It's called Christmas because of the birth of Christ. Our Constitution, we talked about the First Amendment. He's going to adjust me here. We talked about the First Amendment. You know what it says. It says, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion. It does not limit what we do. It limits what Congress can do, what the government can do. That's the way it works. It's not rocket science, but those folks don't understand it. Consider this. In 1799, the U.S. Supreme Court case of Runkle versus Weinmiller, Justice Samuel Chase, who also signed the Declaration of Independence, by the way, he wrote in the court's ruling, religion is of general and public concern, and on its support depend, in great measure, the peace and good order of government, the safety and happiness of the people. By our form of government, the Christian religion is the established religion, and all sects and denominations of Christianity are placed upon the same equal footing, and we are equally entitled to protection in religious liberty. That's a guy who signed the Declaration of Independence. Don't you think he probably knew just a little bit about it? I'm thinking that he probably did. What has changed is our country. The Constitution didn't change. It's the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. What has changed is our country. We continually, and the courts have done a lot of it, our legislators have done a lot of it, we have to hold them accountable. They go to Raleigh, they go to Washington, and they don't hear from we the people. Did I break this thing? It worked for everybody else. How's that work? Okay. But they don't hear from us. They get there and all of these folks are there, and the liberals are always there. They're always telling them what they want. If they don't hear from us, they think that that's the voice of the people, many of them. Virginia Fox, God bless her, she's here every week, so she hears from us. But most of them in Washington don't. They don't go home every week. And so they don't hear from the people. And I've been in Washington, and I can tell you how it works. I have been there when an aide would come out and say to the legislator, we've got a big issue. We've really got to get on it. We need to talk about this. We're having a lot of phone calls on it. If they have 100 phone calls, they think the sky has fallen down. Literally. They think every phone call to DC represents 100 people. That's the way they calculate it. So 100 is the magic number. That wouldn't be that hard for us to pick up the phone. That's not that hard. I have Kay Hagan, Senator Kay Hagan, in my auto dial. I used to call every morning when she was first elected, but I finally gave up. It didn't do any good. But we have to keep calling. We have to let them hear. And as Virginia said, when they do something right, let them know you noticed. Call them and say, thank you for doing that. They love to hear it. And when they're doing something wrong, let them hear that too. because they have to hear from we the people. And when they break their word to us, we take them out. We take them out. I don't care what's behind their name, if it's an R, if it's a D, we take them out as best we can. And I'm talking about elections, folks. I know I'm a right-wing Tea Partier, but I'm talking about elections. Find good candidates to run against them in primaries and get rid of them. Many of you have heard my story about a couple of legislators years ago that we took out. And it didn't take a lot. They broke their pledge. They had signed a pledge that they wouldn't raise taxes, and then they did. So we went to their districts, we printed up material, we went door to door, we printed up t-shirts with their pictures on it that said, "Wanted Representative so-and-so for breaking their pledge." And we worked hard. We flagged every car in Walmart parking lots. We hung door hangers on every door we could find. And we took out, there were 5 of them. We replaced 4 of them. The 5th one is still in Raleigh and is one of the most conservative legislators in Raleigh. They listen. If you hold them accountable, they pay attention. We only had to do that once, and now they listen. When they know that the people are watching and they know you're going to hold them accountable and they know that you're not opposed to going in that district and exposing their record, they will listen. So thank you all so much for all that you're doing. God bless you, and keep standing up for our freedoms every chance you get. Thank you.